Rotting Christ is a Greek extreme metal band formed in 1987. They are noted for being one of the first black metal bands within this region, as well as a premier act within the European underground metal scene. They are also responsible for creating the signature Greek black metal sound prevalent in the early 1990s. History, lineup. The permanent lineup consists of brothers Sakis Tolis and Themis Tolis. Andreas Lagios was the bassist since 1997, taking the stead of Jim Patsouris until the end of 2011. Nightfall's Giorgos Bokos joined as a guitarist in 2005, replacing Kostas Vasilakopoulos. In February 2012, Bokos announced his departure from the band for personal reasons. In December 2012, the new members of the band were announced, guitarist George Emanuel and bassist Vagelis Kazi. 3 keyboardists had previously been a part of the band. George Tolias, George Zaharopoulos and a session known only as Panayotis. The band members from the beginning, up to Traki of the Lost Lovers album, were using the pseudonyms Necromayhem for Sakis, Necrosauron for Themis and Mutilator for Jim. Biography. During their rehearsal era in the late 1980s, the band began as grindcore and released various demos and splits with other bands from the Athens area. The group would later alter their sound with influence from proto-black metal bands like Celtic Frost and Venom, and in the process became one of the genre's instigators. Their 5-song demo, Satana's Tedium, would show a grindcore black metal crossover, followed by their career-breaking EP, Passage to Arcturo, in 1991. One of band's first major appearances was on the 1993 Fuck Christ tour consisting of Immortal and Blasphemy. During this concert, some audience members had engaged in cutting and self-mutilation that resulted in hospitalization. Before signing to Unisound, Mayhem's Aistine Arsith had expressed interest in distributing the band through his Death Like Silence Productions label, but due to Arsith's murder the same year, nothing materialized. The band would sign to Century Media in 1996 and remain on their roster for 10 years before joining Season of Mist. Rotting Christ has played in many countries outside their native Greece, including both Americas, Greater Europe, Russia, the United Kingdom, Malta and the Middle East. Several heavy metal festivals around the world have hosted the band, including the 2003 Wacken Open Air in Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. Past tourmates have included My Dying Bride, Tristania, Tiamat, Vintersorg, Vintrol, Agatha Daemon, Old Man's Child, Malevolent Creation, Anorexia Nervosa, Vader, Chrysion, Dayside, Behemoth, Melechesh and Nile, among many others. Rotting Christ was one of the initial bands to be announced to perform the Barge to Hell Festival, which is a metal-themed cruise organized by Ultimate Metal Cruises and take place aboard Royal Caribbean's Majesty of the Seas. Barge to Hell set sail from Port of Miami on December 3, 2012. As of 2012, Rotting Christ has been around 25 years and is one of the longest-running bands within the black metal genre. In celebration of the band's longevity, the 2-DVD plus 2-CD compilation Non Serviam, a 20-year apocryphal story, shot in Athens on December 8, 2007, was released worldwide February 23, 2009. Hello, the band's 10th studio album, was released on February 15, 2010, for Europe and February 23, 2010, for the USA. Their 11th album, Kata Tanda Mona Latoi, was released in March 2013. They are to make their first appearance in South Asia on September 13, 2014 in India and September 14, 2014 in Sri Lanka. Publicity. Over the years, the group has faced controversy due to their name and gained international media attention in November 1999 during the 2000 United States presidential primaries for Republican nomination, when candidate Christian conservative Gary Bauer accused the band of being anti-Catholic, among other things. In response to Bauer's criticism, Sakis wrote, "They also have had to cancel some shows, most recently in May 2005, when Megadeth frontman Dave Mustaine refused to play at a Greek concert if Rotting Christ were on the bill." In response to their forced cancellation, Sakis noted, Anthrax co-founder Dan Lilka defended Rotting Christ and criticized Dave Mustaine's actions, as did Nevermore's Warrell Dane, whose bands appeared on Mustaine's Gigantour in 2005. Dane added, when playing in Malta, a country which in its constitution declares itself as Roman Catholic, trouble from the church and other Catholic groups ensued when an unknown person stuck a Rotting Christ flyer to a church door. The band was allowed to play eventually even though they had to change venue. Musical style. Early in their career, they were responsible for creating what is known as the classic Greek black metal sound, which can be heard in other bands such as Varathron and Thou Art Lord. Despite the name, the band's traditional lyrical themes involving evil and occultism has evolved into a more mystic path, and they have modified their musical direction on each album, utilizing elements such as clean melodic baritone vocals, doom, gothic metal and industrial music traits, and male-female Benedictine chants. Recent albums, beginning with Chronos, have shown the band taking a more modern, faster and more aggressive approach to their black and gothic style. Their 2007 album, Theogonia, especially, has been described as more atmospheric and epic by their label. The group's choice of producers, engineers and mixers has also been varied. Swedish extreme metal figures Dan Swana Paragraph, Peter Tar Currency GTGREN and Fredrik Nordstra Paragraph M, German producers Andy Klassen, Sergei Bem and Waldemar Zariachta as well as Itris have all contributed to production on the band's albums. Band members, discography, full lengths, Thy Mighty Contract, Non Serviam, Trachea of the Lost Lovers, A Dead Poem, Sleep of the Angels, Chronos, Genesis, Sanctus Diabolos, Theogonia, Elo, Ishi plus or minus III 1/2 II plus or minus II 1/4 II 1/2 I plus or minus I micron I plus or minus III Demos, singles, and DVDs, Declines Return, Leprosy of Death, The Other Side of Life, Satana's Tedium, Passage to Arcturo, Rotting Christ /Monumentum, Dawn of the Iconoclast, Adder's Wind, Apocathalosis, The Mystical Meeting, Dare. Perfectrum, Indomen Sathana, Non Serviam, a 20-year apocryphal story, a soundtrack to Michael H. Currency LL's doctoral dissertation, compilations, Thanatifo Anthologio, music videos, references. External links, official website, Rotting Christ on MySpace, Rotting Christ discography at Music Brains.